I really am invested in this series so quick and instantly from when I first meet the Finn Cullen family. It's very endearing to fans, and your character Finn is silent, but I think you can tell a lot from his expressions. How was Finn originally described to you?
How was he described? I think originally when I got the breakdown, he was more of a like quote unquote emo character, like you know, right from costumes, wardrobe, and hair and makeup. Uh, he kind of more came out of his shell to me, and even on on paper when they started sending scripts and me getting to read the scripts. He's introverted, but he has a lot of thoughts going on, and he has a lot of opinions, but he doesn't want to get in the way of anybody. He wants to, kind of be the middleman and not want to upset anyone. But he does have his own ideas, and he wants to, you know, please. He's kind of a people pleaser, but he wants to do what's right, and even though he may not be talking or sharing his thoughts, a lot of the time he does have good ideas, or ideas on how to solve problems and stuff like that.
Well, his mom sort of described him as clinically depressed, but I'm not sure. Is it just more teenage angst or having the weight of the world on his shoulders?
Yeah, it could be something like that. It's maybe it could be Lydia not understanding her son fully, or Finn not understanding himself fully at this moment, and being at the moonshine is a great opportunity for him to understand himself a bit more and to come out of that shell and maybe release a little bit of that angst, because he's coming from New York City to a small town in Nova Scotia, which is a huge step, and maybe he's able to express himself more and understand himself a bit more in somewhere so serene and secluded like the moonshine.
Yeah, New York is a big city. He might feel like just one of the millions of people. And here in Nova Scotia, he's in a smaller pond. So
Yeah.
he has more of a chance to really talk and feel and express himself based on maybe his environment. Um, and I find it interesting too is that his father wants him to go to Juilliard and he's a super talented musician. But does Finn know what he wants for himself?
Yeah, I feel like he's conflicted because when you're 16, 17, 18, going through high school, wanting to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life, I feel like everyone's kind of been there, and it's a very daunting thing. Even though you may be good at something and you may like something, if when you're in high school, to think about doing that for the rest of your life or to pursue it as a post-secondary, it's a very challenging thing to wrap your head around. So this also could be used as an opportunity to kind of figure out what he wants to do with university, Juilliard, and figure out what he truly is into, and what he wants to do, I guess, with the next few years of his life.
Well, if you ask me, he really seemed to find his place playing music privately behind the band, at least in the first episode, along with the band, I should say. Seems to me that he might want to be a musician himself, but in a different way than his dad's dream is, Juilliard is, a classic trained musician. And obviously, you said, or I should say, Finn says in there that, he does a lot of more classical composing and things like
Right.
that. But it sounds like, or at least it looks like, he might have found his true calling behind the band or in the band, I should say. Is that something that the writers discuss with you, or will we maybe see that develop more come further season one?
Yeah, that's what's nice about, when Finn first gets to the moonshine, he knows that there's a venue. He knows that there's the shore club there that plays, the local band plays there every weekend. And it's something that intrigues him, and maybe something that he's not been around that much. And he's more, like you said, he composes, and maybe that's what's been put in front of him for the years that he's been playing music, and going to the moonshine and seeing the shore club and the band playing it opens his eyes up a little bit to what else is out there, and it doesn't have to go down the academic route. There's, bands and solo stuff that he can be doing, and that could lead him to do, a different path than maybe he originally planned when he first came to Nova Scotia.
Well, I will say that when I did talk to Tom Stevens yesterday, he said you were more your father's son than your mother's son. Any thoughts on his cryptic comments?
Is that a real life thing, or is that a Finn
No,
thing?
he said Finn thing.
Okay, okay,
Excuse me. Yes, he said Finn was more his father's son than
gotcha.
his mother's son.
Yeah, I say that just because my dad worked on the show as well, and he knows my dad. He was the camera operator for all the times we were shooting, and so Tom knows my dad pretty well. So I was wondering if that was what you
Not
were.
a personal dig.
Okay, no, no, no. But uh, yeah, there's pieces of of sons and daughters and children in both of their parents. I can see where he's coming from with Finn being siding with Daniel, but sometimes people say, "Oh, you look like your mother. Oh, you look like your father," or you kind of see yourself in one or the other. Maybe externally, he thinks that Finn's more like Daniel with his maybe his demeanor, and Lydia's a bit more frantic and more that Finley Cullen side that we see with all the siblings and maybe some irrational thoughts. And with Finn, he's very rational and down to earth, but there's points where it can be peer pressure and wanting to impress people and wanting to do the right thing may come and shift his personality a little bit. But yeah, there's parts of both his mom and his dad in him, I believe. I know that's a kind of a meh answer, but I think that's true
There's a
because
dichotomy to everyone.
yeah, it's just his personalities of both parents kind of blending into one, and maybe one day you're siding with your dad's personality a little bit more, your mom's personality a little bit more. So it just depends on the situation.
Speaking of familial relationships, there's an animosity between Finn and his sister. Is it normal sibling rivalry? Is it just the fact that they're, stuck together as a Finn Cullen family here out in Nova Scotia? Or is at the heart of it, will there be some love there? Right now, we're
Well,
just seeing them butt heads
yeah,
constantly.
I guess I have a sibling, and people with siblings know that you could be best friends one minute, and someone looks at each other, someone looks at the other a wrong way, and all hell can break loose. But they're teenagers, they're growing up, and they're feeling a lot of feelings, and maybe they're wanting to be more independent or this and that and the other thing. So at the heart of it, with all the Finley Collins, they may not show it all the time, but they do love each other deep down, and they're going to go to bat for one another. And that's I believe that with Finn and Eleanor, they can butt heads even in the first scene. There's a bit of arguing between them and name calling, but you know siblings and family will triumph over that little adversity that they have. So I guess it would depend on how
It
each
depends on
other
the
is
day. It
feeling
depends on the
each day.
moment.
I know, like it's something that you can't really predict with teenagers and in this case with the entire Finley Collin family. It just depends on the moment and what's happening at
I was going to say, it could be your
specific time.
DNA. You know?
Exactly, exactly.
That Finn Cullen DNA is fiery. So you never know. Hence why Tom's suggestion that maybe you're, well, as Finn is more quiet, demeaned,
Yeah,
that
rather
may
more
be
of a
a Bennett
listener.
side to him
Exactly. Yeah.
rather than the fiery Finn Cullen
Yeah.
side to him.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense with Eleanor being more of her mother's daughter. It makes I'm getting where he's coming from now. Yeah.
There's so many sweet moments in the pilot and so many, of course, fierce moments as well. Can you tease, or what can you tease, I should say, are some of your favorite moments maybe from filming? the
Well, it was
pilot
nice
episode.
because it was nice. Well, it gets way more exciting and mysterious and dramatic and all those things as the season goes on. But what I loved about shooting the show was that we shot this first season in 2020, which was, as we all know, like the start of COVID, and it was during the summer. And we were filming Nova Scotia, and we were lucky because we were in this bubble, and there was not a lot of cases, if any cases at the time. So the only things we could do was shoot the show and hang out with each other, basically. So we were kind of this family off of set as well as on set, and it really helped film the rest of the season, film the rest of the episodes because we got so close so quickly, and we were such a an amazing. We had such an amazing dynamic come the middle and the end of the season because we got to know each other very well. So just yeah, I guess be prepared for a real a real family showing real emotions because we basically became that the last few years doing this show. It's pretty incredible. It's been amazing.
I think what makes this show so endearing is there are so many fiery personalities, but yet you see there is a familial love at the heart of things. And I think that's what's gonna, of course, make it such a fast fan favorite for the US audience who hasn't seen it yet. Is that also what you think is really going to make it such a quick catch on for US audiences? Or have you heard what from fans what truly has made it such a fan favorite for them so far?
Yeah, I've heard that people are seeing themselves or their families in this show because they're saying, "Oh, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my sister," in all of the different in plenty of different characters, and it's just going to resonate with people, I think, because families are dysfunctional and families are loving and sometimes annoying, and you can see yourselves in a lot of these characters, or see you can see other people in all these characters that you can relate to, and it's also set on the backdrop of a beautiful Nova Scotian coastline. So if you know if that's not enough to get people to watch, I don't know what will be. But it's yeah, it's a beautiful setting, and I'm from Nova Scotia. I'm here in Halifax now, so just getting to film here and getting to share with the world this amazing province is has been incredible.
I mean, the cinematography is gorgeous and makes you just want to, enjoy the warm weather that Nova Scotia has to offer because you see the campgrounds, you see the beautiful water. If it's maybe maybe also it's a love letter for Canadians as well.
Yeah, it's and thanks for the cinematography nod. My dad was as I said, the A camera operator, so shout out Forbes. But yeah, it's just the perfect setting for something like this. They built the moonshine from scratch and basically shot at and near a campground. It was right on Hubbard's campground in Nova Scotia, and that beach is part of the Hubbard's campground. So they didn't have to go far to replicate the campground uh, vibe. And yeah, it's a beautiful, amazing place for people to discover if they haven't discovered it already.
What's next for you? What have you been busy working on lately?
Well, I've been throughout Moonshine. I was working on my university degree, my pilot's license. So I've gotten my pilot's licenses. So I'm a flight instructor now. I also did a flight instructor rating. So I'm doing that, and yeah, I finished that up. When did I finish that? Oh, about a month ago. So I've been back in Halifax, just waiting for things to kind of pick back up again. Usually Halifax gets busy around this time, so fingers crossed things can get busy film wise again. But yeah, I'm just excited for people to watch the show and to get the reaction from people in the states. We've been wanting to bring it there for a long time, and we're really excited to be sharing it. We're really proud of the show, so we're excited to hear what people think.
Anyone stopped you post or excuse me pre-flight and go, aren't you Finn on Moonshine?
I haven't worked yet in as a pilot yet, but at the sometimes at the school people may look twice, but I haven't really gotten any. Actually, one of my instructors did watch the show and he really liked it, and we'd go up and fly and we'd talk about it side by side, and but yeah, it's been a great experience to be able to do both at the same time. Yeah.
What would you like to say then to people who are fans and supporters of the wonderful work you've been doing on our screens with Moonshine?
Yeah, just share your thoughts. Let your friends and family know. We're really excited finally showing this in the States. And if you are fans of the show, and if you want to see more, keep just let us know. Tweet at us, Instagram, whatever, and yeah, just keep watching the show. And if you enjoy it and you see us in public, say hi, let us know. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to keep showing up season after season.